Arvind sir, please take charge in behalf of me. Actually, I was just driving.
Okay, sir. Vikram sir will take the charge.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you.
Okay, I think it's 4 o'clock. I think shall we start?
Yes, sir. Vikram sir, please proceed.
Yes. Am I clearly audible, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So good evening, one and all present over here. This is Vikram Pramanik, Vice Principal, Valley Public School, Patlabadi. Today, once again, in absence of one of my friends, Mr. Badar Kumar Mandal, Principal of GM Public School, Gomo, I'm having opportunity to address you all for today's in-house training. All, at first, I would like to welcome the chairperson of Jksm Sahodaya, Mr. TK Sinha sir, Vice Chairman, Mr. Basudev Mahato, CEO, and our well-wisher, Mr. Jubin Bose, Principal, SGD Modern School, Chirkunda. At the same time, I would like to extend my heartiest welcome to all the principals, STNCs, teachers, all, everybody, those who are present over here. For today's session is going to be one of the best sessions, I hope, from my point of view, because the topic is really very, very relevant, and we are facing problem out of this. So, to start this session, I would like to invite uh, one of the teachers and the very talented man, Mr. J.S. Rakhroy, SGD Modern School, Chirkunda. And I request him to address us today's resource person and to say something about today's topic, at least to reveal the topic. So I request once again Mr. J.S. Rakhroy, sir, SGD Modern School, Chirkunda.
Thank you,
Please,
sir.
sir. Yes, please, sir.
A very good evening to all of you present here. It is with great pleasure that we are here today to participate in the training session under JKSM Sahodaya School Complex under the aegis of Confederation of JHARKHAND Sahodayas in-house training program in association with CBSE CEO Patna. A very warm welcome to our Honorable Chairman of JKSM Sahodaya, Mr. TK Sinha, my mentor, my guide, and our beloved principal, Mr. Zubin Bose, all the chairmen of different Sahodayas, principals of different schools, vice principals, STNCs, and of course, my dear teachers. Participants to this training program will learn some key issues concerned with their teaching learning process. Peer group play an important role in young people's lives. So, peer pressure can influence any area of a child's life. Resisting peer pressure can be challenged, but you can resist peer pressure with practice and a few tips. I'm glad to inform you that today we have got Mrs. Swagata Banerjee, PGT of Srimati Ginya Devi Modern School as our resource person, who is going to share her views regarding peer pressure, but also the ways to resist peer pressure. This 1 hour in-house training program is organized by JKSM Sahodaya Complex, DHANBAD. Hope you'll get many things to know through our ma'am. Welcome, ma'am. Please, now the stage is yours.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your warm welcome and your wonderful introduction. And a very good evening to all the respected principals, vice principals, our chairman, admins, and all the educators. A very good evening to everyone. I'm really honored to get this opportunity to conduct this 1 hour training program conducted by JKSM Sahodaya. And I'm very glad about it. I'll try to do my best to live up to the expectations and deliver my best. Now I'm going to begin my today's topic, and the topic is, as already sir has told about it, peer pressure and the ways to resist. So let me start my presentation before I proceed. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, miss. Please proceed.
Okay. So here we are going to start with our today's topic, that is peer pressure in adolescence. Especially we will be dealing with the adolescence case, because we as teachers are dealing with adolescents in our day-to-day life. We are dealing with children and adolescents as well, and we'll talk about the ways, probably how we can help our students, those who are in their teenage, in their adolescence, how we can help them to resist this peer pressure. I'll be giving my opinions, I'll be giving my viewpoints regarding this topic, and time to time I'll be asking from you your viewpoint and your opinion also regarding this topic. First, we'll see that what is meant by peer pressure. Actually, what do we mean by peer pressure? So this is not a new word for any one of us. We are quite acquainted with this term, peer pressure. It is actually the influence which is wielded by the people within the same social group, because we as human beings are always a part of a social group, and we cannot deny being a part of it. So we are in a group, and there is a certain influence on us always from the other members of this group to which we belong. So this is the term which is used to describe the effect or the influence on a person to conform in order to be accepted by the group, because we want to be a part of it. We want to be accepted. We want that people should like us. We all like to be liked. So definitely we are always trying to conform to the group norms. There are certain norms in each and every group, whether it is a grown-up person or whether it is a teenage boy or girl, or whether it is an adolescent or a child, whoever it is, we belong to a certain group, and every group has some norms. So we want to be a part of that group. So generally we conform to those norms. So that is what peer pressure is really about, that we try to mold ourselves and change our personality according to the group's norms. So it is the process in which individuals within the same group influence others in the group to engage in a behavior or activity that they may not otherwise engage in. So every member of that group is an individual, and it is quite definite that they have their own habits, they have their own living style, they have their own likes and dislikes. It cannot be the same for everyone. Each and every member of the group cannot have the same way of thinking, same opinion. But when we are in a group, in a friend circle, we have people of different types, but still their behaviors may be different. Their way of thinking may be different, but it has an influence on the other member of the group. So what one of the friends might be thinking, it might have the effect on the another friend of that same group. So it has an effect which we cannot resist at times. A peer can be any individual who belongs to the same social groups or circles and has some type of influence over an individual. So we cannot deny the fact that when we belong to a group, there are certain effects which are constant on us. We cannot come out of it. Sometimes we cannot resist it. So sometimes it can be avoided by thinking about our actions. And if we would participate in the behavior if our social circle was not influencing or pressuring us to do so. If we have to think in this way, that if I was not a member of this group, if I was not under pressure by someone, would I have done this thing? I should think this way, that I'm a member of this group, but if I was left alone to make my own decision, if there was no influence on me, if there was no pressure on me, would I have taken the same choice? Would I have taken the same decision if there was no pressure on me? That we should think. If the idea of engaging in that activity makes us uncomfortable, it's best to listen to our inner voice and not engage in such activities. So this is good for grown-up people. This is good for adults. This is easier said than done. Like what I'm telling now, that if you are thinking that this particular activity is uncomfortable for you, it may be comfortable for your friend. Your friend may be quite easy with it, quite good with it, but you are not comfortable. You are not feeling good about it, doing it. So better to listen to your inner voice at that time and do not engage in such activities. But as I said, this is easier said than done. It is easier for grown-up people, but not so in case of adolescents. Adolescents always need our guidance, the elders, especially the parents and the teachers. They need the guidance and constant support from their elders so that they can resist these pressures. So here, let us begin with an activity, a very small activity. Now, I want answers from you. Let us go through this. Come on. This is a speech. One student is telling, come on, all of us are cutting math. Who wants to go take that quiz? We are going to take a walk and get lunch instead. Let's go, says the coolest kid in the class. Now, it is a class, and it's a maths class. Maths class is coming next. And the students decide that they will not attend. Not all the students, a group of students, as you can see, a group of students decides that today we will not attend the maths class. And the coolest kid in the class, that is the most popular student in the class, he says that who is going to take that maths quiz? Let us boycott it, let us cut it. And let us instead go for a walk. And then later on, let us take lunch together. So this is what are his friends expected to do? Can you give few of your opinions that if such a situation arises, what will be the possible reaction of his friends? I want answers from you. Please, Arvind sir, if you can enable the chat box, please.
Yes, miss, it is enabled.
What are the friends supposed to do? What would be their reaction? I'm waiting for your answers. Yes, the friends will accompany him. Yes, thank you. Thank you for your answer. Yes, few will support. Yes, and anything more? Answers are coming. Yes, give me more response. They should go. Maximum will follow him. Yes, of course, maximum will follow him. Few of them will join and few will refuse. Yes, of course. Studious students will not support. Yes, I have got the responses from you. Very good. Thank you for your responses. And this is what exactly is going to happen. Few students will definitely go for it. Maximum, a handful might explain him the importance of mathematics. Yes, that is also true. Thanks for your opinions. And yes, few of the students in the class will definitely support him. And most of the students will support, because mathematics is not a subject which students are very much interested in. So they will be supporting this kid who is the coolest kid in the class and he's very popular among his friends. So he will be supported by most, but few will be there who are the sincere students. They will resist. They will make the boy understand that we should not miss this class and go for the quiz. This is the case of peer pressure. So the boy who is popular among the group, he definitely influences the other students. So who experiences peer pressure? It is not that only children face or only adolescents face. Each and every person in the society can face peer pressure. And it is regardless of age. Peers can usually come from a common social circle, and everyone has a common social circle, whether he's a grown-up or he's an adolescent. So as children and adolescents, peers are classmates and friends. Mostly adolescents have a smaller circle of friends. They are compared to elders and compared to adults. So they will be having lesser amount of friend circle, but mostly they are classmates and friends. As teens and young adults, classmates, co-workers, and even family members can be our peers at times. And as an adult, as a working person, our co-workers, our colleagues will be our peers. Of course, we know that. So in case of adolescents, peers play a large role in the school and emotional development of social and emotional development of the children and adolescents. So they are going through a massive change in their social status, in their emotional status quo that is changing. It is continuously changing. In case of adolescents, they are going through changes. Hormonal changes are going on. So their way of thinking, their social circle, everything is undergoing a change. They want to be liked. There is a very strong feeling among adolescents to be liked. They want to be famous. They want to be popular among their friends. And they worry that they may be left out or made fun of if they do not go along with the group. They have always this feeling that if I do not conform to the norms of the group, I'll be left out. And all my friends will make fun of me. So why not to conform, and why not to make everyone happy? Even if I don't like the thing, I will do it because it makes my friends happy. So they want not to be left out, not to be made fun of. So they naturally go along with their friends. Whether it is correct or not, they don't think about it, because at this stage, at the stage of adolescence, they do not have that much of maturity to think what is and to make up his mind whether it is correct or not, whether it is correct or in what he is deciding, whether it is correct or incorrect, that he is unable to decide. Now here I have a slide for you. Participants, please have a look at it. You see there are two squares at the two ends of the slide. One is showing that adolescents' characteristics influence their choice of friends, and the other side, you see in the square, adolescents' friends influence each other's characteristics. Now, from this slide, can you please give me your opinion? What is understood? What is understood from this slide? What can you infer from this slide? Some of you, if you give your opinions. This is a fact that I have stated here. And this is a vice versa relationship that I have tried to show. What meaning is it having?
Participants, please use the chat box.
Chat box is enabled. Okay. Vice versa relationship is there. Yes. Anything? Your opinions, please. Company has an effect. Of course, company does affect us. The company of whom we are, that definitely affects us. Yes. Yes, of course, symbiotic relationship, vice versa, or you can say it is dependent on each other, both having effects on each other. Yes. Peers influence on each other. Thanks. Yes, thanks for your responses. Arvind sir, you can disable it now. Thank you all for your responses. So here I have tried to show you that adolescents' characteristics, what type of a person you are, what type of a boy you are or a girl you are, you will choose your friends according to that. Your characteristics are going to influence on your choice of friends. If you are outspoken, whether you are extrovert, you will means, you know, you have heard about the proverb that birds of similar feather flock together. So people tend to get in the company of those people who are like them, very much like them. So the adolescent's characteristics, the way his nature is, he will choose his friends according to that. And vice versa, his friends will influence his characteristics. Okay. Now, for example, I can tell you that a boy might be an introvert. His nature from birth is that as he has grown up, he is an introvert. But if something happens and he gets in the company of those other children who are quite outspoken, quite extrovert, slowly he will start changing his nature, if not fully, if not entirely, at least little bit. So his introvert nature might change and he might become a little bit of extrovert type. That will be the effect of his friends in whose company he is all the time. So here we see that adolescent's characteristics influence the type of friend he chooses, and vice versa, his friends, the friend which he has, that will affect his characteristics, his nature. Now we will go through some of the types of peer pressure. There are a number of types. First is the spoken peer pressure. So you belong to that group and that the person from that group speaks something that you ought to do this, you should be doing this. If you say like that, they are speaking it out. So that is spoken peer pressure. It involves one individual or a group asking another individual to participate in some type of behavior. Okay, they are asking it openly, they are speaking it out. In a group setting, the pressure felt is much stronger as there is power in numbers. If your group is small, if you have less number of friends, the pressure will be less. And if your group is having a lot of members, many friends, the pressure will be felt more and much more strongly because there is power in numbers. The next one is the unspoken peer pressure. Something which is not spoken out openly, but still by seeing others, by looking at others, you feel that, yes, I also should be doing this. They have not told you openly anything, but still from inside you feel a pressure inside that, yes, I should also be following this. I should be doing this. This involves an individual being exposed to certain behaviors, trends or choices of others and feeling a pressure to conform. As I told you that openly friends are not telling that you should be doing this, come on, do this. But by seeing them, by just watching their behaviors or activities or the choices they are making, you also feel a pressure to conform that and follow that. So that is unspoken. The direct peer pressure. This is type of peer pressure which is challenging as it is very specific to behavior-based conformity and can be spoken or unspoken. Direct peer pressure is the direct impact of your friends on you. It may be spoken or unspoken also. Indirect peer pressure is just the reverse, just the opposite of it. This is the peer pressure. This is less invasive, less impactful. It is having less impact on your internal voice to behave in a certain way, to conform to the norms. It can validate a behavior or activity we want to try, but haven't tried yet. Till now, we haven't tried that activity, but still being with our friends, we have a desire to try it. Okay, let me see what happens. Okay, He's doing this and he's quite cool. So let me also try. Why I'll not try? Let me see what is the outcome. So this provokes us and this validates such behaviors or activities which we have not done before. It can be unspoken also. Indirect peer pressure can be unspoken also. It can be felt. Something which is not spoken, but it is felt. And it also influences how we feel about ourselves. Negative peer pressure, yes, of course, negative peer pressure. Most of the times we see that negative peer pressure is there. The impact is in a negative way. This type of peer pressure can also be direct, indirect, spoken or unspoken. Anything which has ill effect, a bad effect on us, that is negative peer pressure. This pressure can challenge an individual to do things they may not usually do and engage in such behaviors because others are doing so. And it's a way to belong. So as I have already told you that if you want to belong to that group, if you don't want to be thrown out, if you don't want your friends that they will speak bad of you, they will make fun of you, you are just following their behaviors. But from inside, you are not willing to do that. It is a negative thing. You are knowing it. You understand it, that this is something which is bad, I should not be doing. But then also just to make your friends happy and satisfied, you are following what they are doing. So here again, I have given you few things. First, let us see what are these. I'll ask for your opinion again. The following are the examples of what? So we'll see some scenarios here. Friends encouraging you to study more. Okay. Friends suggesting you to join the science club with them. Friends helping you to say no to negative peer pressure or bullying at times, making fun of others. Sometimes friends help us to say no to bad things, to negative things. Friends encouraging you to help them volunteer at a local event. These are some of the events that might happen in a friend circle. So Arvind sir, if you can enable the chat box, I want from my colleagues and teachers that these are the examples of what? What type of peer pressure is it? The examples of? Arvind sir, have you enabled the chat box?
Yes, miss.
Yes. Yes. Responses have started coming. Of course, you are correct. Yes. Positive. Positive peer pressure. Yes. It is a positive peer pressure only. So these are good things. These are healthier attitudes. Yes. Very positive mindset, good thinking, positive thinking, and healthy outlook. Okay. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your responses. Arvind sir, now you can disable it. So now here we see that not only negatively, in a negative way, but peers help us in a positive way also. Sometimes they might be encouraging us to work harder, to study more, to complete our assignments on the scheduled time, and they may be giving us more good advice. They might be helping us to fight negative peer pressure. We might be having some other friends who are pressurizing us in a negative way, but he might be, one of our friends might be helping us to fight it. So they help us and give us constant support to stand rigid and oppose negative peer pressure. They might encourage us to volunteer at a local event. So these are some good things, some positive things, and healthy thinking. So these are the examples of positive peer pressure. This was our next type of, we are discussing the types of peer pressure. So this is our next type of peer pressure, that is positive peer pressure. So this can be direct, indirect, spoken or unspoken, any type. This is the pressure felt in an one-to-one situations or groups that yields a positive result and healthy lifestyle choices. So it is not always bad, it is not always negative, but at times it can be positive also. it isn't always a bad thing. This is a conclusion that we can make from the types of peer pressure, that it isn't always a bad thing. Pressure from a student's peers to study harder or to stand up to bullying can have positive results. But on the flip side, means on the reverse side, some influences can be negative as well, such as the pressure from peers to treat some people badly or to engage in risky behavior. These are some negative sides of, negative aspects of peer pressure. And on the other side, we also have positive outcomes also. Now, here I have given you a scenario where you have noticed that two of your friends, from your friend circle, two of your friends have recently have a tattoo done. This is a very current trend. Many young people and adolescents are going after and they are getting tattooed. So two of your friends have got a tattoo recently, and your parents have strictly forbidden you from getting a tattoo done. Your best friend has told you that if you don't get it done, it will mean that you are not loyal to your friends, you are not loyal to your group, and they won't speak to you anymore. So which side will you go for? Means, will you listen to your parents that they have forbidden you from getting tattooed, or you will follow your friends because they have already threatened you that if you don't get a tattoo done, will not consider you as a member of this group? So what would you do if you were in this situation? What would you do? Arvind sir, please let them answer in the chat box.
Yes, miss.
Of course, we should go for on the parents' side. I listen to my parents. I'll respect my parents' views only. I will make them, yes, you will talk to your friends and you will make them understand that this is not something which can be done forcefully. You should not force me to do. If I don't like it, if my parents have said not to do it, I will not do it. So it doesn't mean that I'm not a good friend of yours. Yes, talk to them. Yes, thank you for your responses. So you would talk to your friends, and we should go to parents' side. Yes, all are saying that, but we should keep in mind that we are all elders. We are all grown-ups. We are mature. So we say that we can understand that what is right and what is wrong, what should be done and what shouldn't be done. Yes, thank you all. Arvind sir, if you can please disable. So it is quite easy for us to take a decision and to make up our mind that yes, we should be on our parents' side. But it is always not so easy for an adolescent. He is not so mature and he is not able to understand at all times that what should be done, what is correct and what is incorrect. So, and he has such a lot of impact of friends on him. So he might decide something on his friend's side. Might be he will not listen to his parents and he will go on the friend's side. It might be because they are adolescents. They are still in the growing stage. They have not matured so much. Now, we will go through some strategies to handle the peer pressure. First of all, we should pay attention to how we feel. You have to keep in mind, we have to make our students realize. This is something which you have to teach our students, that you have to pay attention to how you feel. If you are not comfortable with it, no need of going for it. If your inner voice is telling that it is not correct, do not go for it. So this we have to teach our students and the adolescents we have in our family, because we have both the role, we are playing the role of parents as well as teachers. So we have to make them understand. We have to plan ahead that if such a situation arises, what should I decide? Talk to the person who is pressuring. Let him or her know how it makes you feel and tell the person to stop. There is no need to quarrel. There is no need to go into a heated discussion or argument. Just you talk to him separately and make him understand the way you are behaving with me, the way you are talking to me, it's making me feel bad. And you have to stop now. So very nicely, you have to just make the students understand that any person, if he is pressurizing you to do something or behave in a certain way, just you talk to him or her and make him understand that I'm not comfortable with it. So please do not pressurize me to do so. The children should be taught to communicate with their parents. Most of the times what happens, they are undergoing tremendous pressure, but they do not speak up. They do not open up to their parents. They keep mum. And they do not share anything, not only with their parents, but with their teachers also. They keep it to themselves. But we should help them and we should encourage them to communicate more and more with their parents and at times with teachers also. If you are thinking that somebody is unnecessarily going on pressurizing you, we have to give an excuse. If no way is working, discussion, talking softly, making him understand, nothing is working on that person, we simply have to give an excuse and go away from that person. We should be having friends with similar values and beliefs. We should teach our children that you make such friends who are having similar values and beliefs as you. Because again, that proverb comes that birds of similar feather flock together. So generally we make friends with such type of persons who are of the similar nature as we. So it is always better to have friends with similar values and beliefs. When we are starting the secondary school, especially when the adolescent stage comes, it's quite normal for students to feel influenced by their peers as they negotiate and manage new structures around friendships and belief systems and where they fit in. They are trying to fit in, they are trying to adjust because they are coming from one stage, the childhood stage. Now they are stepping into the stage of adolescence. So they are going under tremendous changes in the secondary level. So they are changing physically, mentally, psychologically, even socially, emotionally, every way they are going through that change. So we have to help them negotiate and manage with the new structures and the new surroundings and the new belief systems that they are developing at this stage. Now, let me share with you some practical ways students can be supported, how students can be supported by the teachers to fight the peer pressure. We should, as a teacher, we should promote a culture of diversity and inclusivity. In a class or in a group, there are different individuals, and each and every one of the group member, they are belonging to different social background. They have different family backgrounds, their mind setup, their upbringing, everything is different. So how can you expect that what you like, the other person will also like, or what you don't like, the other person will also dislike? This is not possible. So this is varying. This will vary depending on the different aspects of the individual. But we have to respect that diversity. We have to respect and include everybody in the class, in the group. That is a unity. That is only the unity. There will be different types of people in the group, and we have to accept that. We have to accept each and everyone as a different individual. Encouraging open discussions with students and parents around peer pressure. So this is our role as a teacher. We should be encouraging more and more open discussions, not only with the students, but if need arises, with the parents also. We should be calling the parents, and if such a situation occurs, if such a situation arises, we should be calling the parents and we should be discussing with them how to recover, how to get over the peer pressure. Developing key communication skills to help in managing negative peer pressure situations. if there is a situation of negative peer pressure, we should be helping our students to communicate freely with us so that we can help them manage the negative peer pressure. And they have to build up the resilience. They have to recover fast. Whatever situation negative it might be, they have been facing, they should have that capacity, that ability to get over it easily and quickly. So here are some top tips for supporting our students. How can we support our students? We should promote positive peer pressure outcomes in our classroom. If we see anywhere at any time there is a negative peer pressure, immediately we should stop it. And on the other hand, we should promote the positive peer pressure as a teacher. We should talk openly and honestly with our students around what peer pressure is and how it can be used for both positive and negative outcomes. So we as a teacher, it is not our duty only to teach and complete the syllabus. If the chapter is completed, if the whole syllabus is completed, our work is done. It is not that. So we have to help our students in overcoming the negative things in their life. What is going on, negative things in their life, we have to make them understand how to get over it, how to cope with it. So that is also our duty. So we have to talk openly and honestly with our students. Encourage the students to talk about the pressures they feel, to conform and discuss practical ways to manage this pressure. So we have to help them that if you are in such a group and if you do not conform to the norms of the group, what can be the outcome? And we have to discuss with them the practical ways how to manage this negative peer pressure. In classrooms, role-playing and using the real-life scenarios can be helpful. It is an effective approach to use to make the children understand that this type of scenario, this type of situation may arise. And if it arises, that what can be done or what should be done. So in our classroom, if among the teaching periods, if we take out one of the period only for making them understand that if such a negative situation arises, what should be done and what shouldn't be done. This type of practical classes we can take. Sometimes involve the parents in discussions around peer pressure. So we have not only the students, at times we have to call the parents also and discuss with them regarding this. If their ward is facing such type of problem, what should they do? How should they support? And of course, building resilience in young people is one of the most effective ways to help them manage adversity, change, and peer pressure. We have to make them understand this thing first, that adversity and change will always be there. You cannot avoid adversities and changes in life. It will be there your whole life. But how to cope up with it and how to handle it, that we have to teach them. Now, again, I have given you a picture. All of you, please have a look at it. I've given you a picture of peer pressure. Now, Arvind sir, please enable the chat box once more. Here I want from you, what do you understand from this picture? You can see there are some people in blue and only one person is there in white. And it is written, come on, everyone's doing it. So what does that white color person, the person in white, what does it denote? Please tell me your opinion. Have you enabled the chat box, Arvind sir?
Yes, miss. Yes, miss.
Okay, positive, yes, of course. But I'm asking that among all the blues, all the people in blue, that white one, what does it denote? What is it trying to, is that trying to say? That yes, inclusive education. Okay, according to your opinion, inclusive education. And anything more, please? He's the motivator. Okay. Inclusive education, co-education. Okay. Yes. Yes, they have a different view, asking to follow. Asking to follow, yes. We can say that that among all the blues, that one person is different. Yes, he's not doing as the others are doing. Okay, thank you all. Thank you all for your responses. Arvind sir, you can now disable. So yes, according to your opinion, it is quite correct that person in white, he has a different opinion from the rest. He is a member of the group. He is standing among the others, but still he has a different opinion. Whether he will follow, whether he will conform to the others, other thinking of the others, that is another matter. But his way of thinking is different from the rest. From this picture, we come to know. But still others are trying to force him. Like it is written, come on, everyone's doing it. So they are pressurizing that person, that one person who is thinking differently. They all are pressurizing him that you conform to our norms, but he might or might not listen to them. We have some effective communication skills. This is very important. Having effective communication skills. We have to teach our students the communication skills, especially the assertive ones. How you can forcefully say that, yes, this is what I want, this is what I believe, and do not try to interfere in my thinking, in my way. So that assertive way of communication should be taught. And it is a very useful strategy to help them stand up to bullying, because bullying has become very common these days. So our children, we have to teach them how to protest and how to stand up to bullying. Giving the students the opportunity to reflect on their values and beliefs around communication is a good starting point for dealing with peer pressure. So we have to teach our children open communication, honest communication, be honest to yourself, and whatever you think is correct, go for it. There is no need to conform all the time. Being awesome at self-care exercise. We have to be self-caring. This we have to teach our students, that if you take care of yourself, that will do good in your life. You have to learn to look after yourself. This has been shown to build up the confidence and bring about a positive feeling in the person. So this is something which we have to teach our students, that how they should grow the belief in themselves. They should take care of themselves and their feelings. Now, this is something which already we have talked about, that peers, we are trying to fit in. We are always trying to fit in. Even if the people around us, they are telling something, we don't like that. Sometimes it happens that we don't like that thing which others are telling. But we keep quiet. We don't say that what you are saying is wrong. This should not be. The correct way should be this. We don't say that. We keep on thinking that what others will think. So that we keep quiet and just let them do what they are doing. But this happens more in case of teenagers. In case of adolescents, this happens more. As the teenagers, it's quite normal for the students to want to have friends. This is the time they are changing drastically, as I have told you. And they want to have a bigger friend circle. They want to make new friends. And this is the time they are more prone to peer pressure. They are trying to fit in the group. They don't like to be left out. However, sometimes when trying to fit in, they give in to peer pressure and find themselves doing things they don't feel comfortable doing. So when they are trying to fit in, they sometimes do such things which they don't want to. Otherwise, they wouldn't have done. If there was no pressure on them, they wouldn't have done that thing. Just to belong to that group. We should be telling our students to stop and think. Being able to control impulses and reactions to different situations is an important skill. Our children, our students, the adolescent one, the students of the secondary level, they are very impulsive. Most of them are very impulsive. They act on the moment, on the heat of the moment, they will say something or they will do something, but we have to make them understand that this is not correct. Acting on impulses and reacting immediately is not correct. They should think, they should stop and think, then only they should react. This is not so easy to teach them. It will take time, but slowly they will understand that this is necessary and slowly they will learn this. We should ask students to stop and think before they act. Where the peer pressure is involved, students may do things that they normally wouldn't and feel as though they have let themselves down. This we have to put in the minds of our students, that we have to talk to them and make them understand that sometimes it happens that under peer pressure, you do such things which normally you wouldn't. And that leaves you with a feeling of, you feel bad about it, you regret about it in the future, that why have I done this? I shouldn't have done this. I should have done what I was feeling correct. I shouldn't have done what he was telling me. Later on, you regret. So it is better not to regret. Think before, then act. After doing something or after saying something, if you regret, it is useless. So we have to make our students understand this. Students should be taught to reflect on their understanding of failure, how they accept failure, how they deal with failure. This is also one thing we should be teaching them. Failures are the pillars to success. We always say, but we do not teach our children in such a way that they should accept failure in a positive sense. We do not teach them. Rather, whenever they fail in something, we start scolding them. We start telling them and blaming them that you should have done this. You have not listened to my words, that's why this happened. You have failed. We should not be blaming them. Rather, we should be encouraging them for their future, that learn from this failure and so that next time it won't happen again. So on the importance of mindset, so this type of mindset we should grow in our students, that learn from your mistakes. This attitude should be there. Now quickly let us go through the things we ought to teach our students. As teachers, what should we teach them? We should teach them to have difficult conversations. It is not that always your answer should be yes. You can answer in no also. And it is very difficult to say no. But over the passage of time, you have to learn. We have to teach our children how to say no. Whether you need to apologize to someone or you need to confront them about some negative situation or having a difficult conversation, it can be nerve-wracking and scary. Sometimes you may try to avoid such type of situations, but we have to teach our children that they should not try to escape or avoid such situations. Rather, they should face it. They should learn how to say no, how to apologize, and how to confront others in a negative situation, how to talk to them. Giving into pressure from your friends to do something you normally wouldn't can leave you feeling guilty, regretful, ashamed, embarrassed, or even frightened. This I have already just now discussed, that if you are doing something under the peer pressure, which you normally wouldn't have done, after doing that, later on, you will be feeling guilty, regretful, sometimes ashamed of yourself, that why have I done this? You will be feeling embarrassed or sometimes even frightened, scared. Now I have done this. My teacher will scold me. I'll get caught. My parents will come to know what they will do to me. All these types of thinking will come to your mind. So this we have to tell our children, that do not do such a thing which you will regret later on, which will leave you feeling guilty or ashamed of yourself. This is a very bad feeling to have after doing something. If you are scared, if you are ashamed of yourself, it is the worst feeling that can be ever felt. Having good friends, again, we have to make our children understand that having good friends who love and support us for who we are is really important to our happiness. So happiness is in having friends. Of course, happiness lies in having friends. Without company, we are not happy. We cannot be happy. But true friends are those who love and support us for who we are, and not that who they want us to be. We should be our own self, and they will accept us in that way. That is a true friend. So this, again, we have to make our children understand. We must know what makes a good friend and how we can be there for our friends when they need us most. It is not the one-way relationship. The relationship of friendship, we know very well that, or peers, friendship or peers, you can say, it is a two-way process. So if you want that you will be accepted in the group, the same way you have to reciprocate. Students, children, adolescents have to reciprocate. They have to be helpful to each other. They should be ready for helping their friends whenever they need. Whenever the need is most, that time we should be having our friends beside us. So they will be ready to accept their friend the way they are. Now, coming to the conclusion, I'm going to conclude my session. Let us see the conclusion. Much of the past research, now there are many researches already going on regarding this topic all over the world. Much of the past research in peer influence has focused on its potential negative impact. Adolescents are undoubtedly influenced in the positive directions by their peers as often as they are in negative ones. So here in the research, we have found out that peer pressure can be both ways. It can be positive as well as negative. And still the research work is going on. It is not that it has finished. All over the world, research work is still going on, and future work which is examining the peer influence may increasingly focus on understanding the role of adolescents, because adolescents are surrounded by their teachers, their parents, and the neighborhood. So it has a lot of impact. The greatest of influence on the adolescents are by the schools and by the families and by the neighborhoods. So how these three forces act on the adolescent, it influences the adolescent, that has to be seen, and it must be taken care of that schools, families, and neighborhoods should always have a good impact, a positive impact on the adolescents, so that the positive peer relationships can be developed. Given the importance of peer relationships during adolescence, such efforts may hold considerable potential in maximizing the positive outcomes for youth. So this is my conclusion. That is what I'm trying to say, is that we should be having a good, the atmosphere should be good in the family, in the school, as well as in the neighborhood. So all these influence, if there is a good impact on the adolescent, of course, he will be growing up in a positive way, ready to face all the challenges of his life, of this stage, especially this stage of adolescence, which is full of changes, which is full of ups and downs. So we should be ready to help the adolescent always, as teachers, as parents, and also as members of the society. So here I conclude my session. Thank you, all of you. I hope I have been able to give my opinion regarding this topic. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you very much, ma'am. It was a wonderful session, and the way that you have explained everything regarding the topic, it was really very, very impressive and really beneficial for all of us. I hope your all information will really truly help us in our profession in our future. So thank you very much, ma'am, once again. And we just forwarding for our concluding part, and for the conclusion and for vote of thanks, I would like to invite Mr. Duman Sao, Director of Saint Xavier Mission School, Barwadda. So if you can hear me, sir, so please come up with your video and voice and conclude the today's session. Sir, can you hear me? Mr. Doman Sao, Director of Saint Xavier Mission School,
Good
Barwadda.
evening, sir. Yes, sir, I am getting you.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, sir. So please come up with your video. You are not visible yet.
Actually, sir, I will be not visible. Only my voice will be goes there because
Okay, okay.
actually
Okay,
the
no
light is
issue.
not here, so it will be not visible.
Okay, okay, no issue. Your sound is coming to us. That's enough.
Okay.
Please go ahead, sir.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, everyone. I would like to thank a special thanks to the Swagata Banerjee ma'am. Ma'am, your voice was very clear, and what we have you have taught us, we have completely got it.
Thank you, sir.
Ma'am, your presentation was also very good. It was very clearly visible, and the examples what you have given, it was excellent, ma'am.
Thank you very
now
much,
I
sir.
would like to thank Zubin Bose, sir. Sir, this in-house trainings are completely possible due to your willpower, sir. I would like to thank TK Sinha, sir, Chairperson JK Sinha Memorial, Sahodaya Complex, Dhanbad. I would also like to thank Vasudev Mehto, sir, Vice Chairperson JK Sinha Memorials, Sahodaya Complex, Dhanbad, and Chairperson of different Sahodayas, those who have joined and very patiently learned the things what the MEMS has taught us. I would like to thank all the principals, vice principals, STNCs, and teachers of different Sahodayas, those who have joined with us. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Have a very good night. Actually, it is the evening, but I am saying night because then after the night will come. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Doman, sir. And thank you all the participants, principal, STNCs. Thank you. Thank you very much.